Renee Nicole Good is her name. 37-year-old mother. She was, which, can you call her an activist? Can you call her somebody who was in the good fight? Yes. Writer, poet, all this other stuff. You know, if you look at the footage,
change our plates every morning, just so you know. It'll be the same plate when you come talk to us later. That's fine. U.S. citizen, former fucking veteran. You want to come at us? You want to come at us? I say go get yourself some lunch, big boy. Go ahead.
Out of the car. Get out of the fucking car. Get out of the car.
whoa! She was waving the ICE agents to be able to pass her. She was waving people by, telling them to pass, and all of a sudden, you know, they go ahead and she's backing up. They tell her to move, and she's trying to back up, and then they bum rush the car. They're trying to intimidate her to get out of the car, and you got to remember, she's a woman. She's not a man. So she's seeing these men surround her car. I think every woman would react that way. Panic. And then she's turning to get out of the way. And this dickhead is in the front of the vehicle. To the side of it, you can clearly see that the actual wheels are turned locked to the right. So she's trying to get out of the way and get out of danger. And he pulls his gun as soon as she starts to turn. So just think about that. If somebody is fearing for their life, and the only way that the police protocols tell you is that you have a split second to be able to figure out if this is going to be something that is risking your life, the wheel's already locked, and you're already towards the side of her. Where's the imminent danger? Where is it? So he already made his mind up to be able to pull his fucking gun and kill that girl, because ICE agents have carte blanche to be able to do what the fuck they want to do in this country. And this is what we're talking about today. The fact that we have a literal hit squad that can be able to do whatever lawless stuff they want to do because they have free reign from the President of the United States and the Department of Homeland Security fucking director, whatever the fuck her name is, Kristi Noem, her stupid ass. We have idiots running our government. And not only are they idiots, but they're dangerous idiots at that. So when you got her talking about that she's a domestic terrorist, and now we're calling people who are just on the other side of your political ideologies terrorists now? That's what we're doing? Before you have any evidence, before you looked at one tape, when there's multiple recordings, you took the farthest one to be able to identify. And from that particular tape, yeah, it does look crazy until you pan in, until you actually see exactly what happens. And anybody who sees the actual happenings close up will never ever say that this lady was trying to hit that dude. There was just an abuse of power going on right there. He wanted to make sure that she saw that he was in control because he was mad. And one shot wasn't enough. You had to give her 3. You killed this lady in broad daylight in front of everybody, and you don't think that people are going to be upset? You don't think that people are going to want heads to roll? You don't think that people want answers? You don't think that people are now looking at the Minnesota police as enemies? They're not to blame, but they're also to blame. Because where were they? Where were they to be able to de-escalate this situation? My biggest problem with this whole thing is that when you have anybody, and I mean anybody, that is even talking about party lines at this point about this situation, fuck you. Has nothing to do with party lines. This is a human rights thing. If you believe that just because of your political beliefs that you're safe from that, you're fucking mistaken. Because they don't give a shit if you're a Republican or a Democrat or anything like that. If they want to go ahead and enforce their will on you, they will do so. And what bothers me again in this country is that happened not too far away from where George Floyd was killed. Pretty much not around the same time, but it's pretty much what is it, 6-year anniversary? Right?
Yeah, 2020. I was gonna say, like, Minnesota don't got a very good rep with law enforcement and that type of stuff.
No.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where it's like, all right, we understood the importance of George Floyd. People took to the streets. People protested. People did what they had to do in the short term to be able to try to make change and to try to get some type of better legislation in this country, right? But what happened? It stopped. Protest stopped. Not for everybody, just for the masses. That's my problem, is that now an innocent mother of 3 that to everybody that knew her was a ray of light, positive person, somebody who's always going to be able to try to help people in the community, her family. She was just a warm person according to the people that knew her. She's gone now. Fucking murdered for nothing. And what bothers me is that I hear people say, oh, well, this is the moment. This is the moment. Why is this the moment? Because she's white? Is that why? Because it's now, you now have it in your backyard? So all the other fucking offenses that happened, that wasn't the moment? Everybody at this point needs to fight. I've been saying it from day one. If you have a platform, if you don't have a platform, you need to find ways to be involved. This is not the time to be on the sidelines. This is not the time to be, oh, well, you know, whatever happens, we'll see. There's bad on both sides. Your civil rights are being stripped away from you. The only countries in this world, Silent Assassin, that have military in the streets are third world ones. You can't try to tell us and confuse us that this is the greatest country in the world, this is the most the richest country in the world, when you literally are turning the military against people that are US citizens. So I'm not calling for violence. I'm not even threatening nobody. But what I will tell you, and this is probably almost for certain, is that revolution is coming. Don't be shocked when people get tired of seeing certain things and they start to fight back. Because when that happens, normally governments topple with it. We've seen in other countries where certain things get passed and certain civil rights are being revoked from people, and the people revolt. And you know what they end up doing? They burn their parliament down to the ground. They go into their actual Capitol building and remove that fucking president and let them, or, you know, prime minister, whatever you want to call them, and beat the fuck out of them. We had somebody that was willing to try to have that done to lawmakers on January 6th. Right? And yet he pardoned every single one of them. And we walk around here and we live our lives every day and we hear these fucking pundits every single day try to normalize this piece of shit. They try to normalize every single piece of shit person that's in this administration, from J.D. Vance to neo-Nazi Stephen Miller to every single one of them. Let's call a spade a spade. If you are not in this fight to make change, fuck you. If you don't realize what's going on around you, you need to wake up. Anybody with a brain knew this was happening. You know why? Because white nationalism and Christian nationalism has always been in the forefront of this country. I keep trying to tell people that they don't care about black and brown history. They only want their own. For a group of people that have 71% of the population in regards to your majority, you're really starting to fear like you're the 10%. Why? Why is that? Fear. Fear of being non-existent, of not having the control. So what do? You go ahead and you start turning people on themselves. You start trying to convince people that God has chosen you as the special people to be able to stay here, and those other people are the throwaways. Show me where it says that in the Bible. Show me where it says being racist and being a bigot and being a nationalist and being a part of the Ku Klux Klan. Show me where that's in the Bible. And if it is, then maybe we shouldn't be paying attention to that book either. We talking real today. That lady should still be here. She should still be with her kids. She didn't do anything wrong. She wasn't being an agitator. But because you have people in this world that are given carte blanche to be able to harm American citizens. And the sad part about this is that you have people that are on the right, on the Republican side, that are going to turn a blind eye to this shit just because they're scared and they want to keep power. So instead of standing up and doing what's right and removing this old fuck and putting everybody else that deserves to be in jail where they belong, we won't get that. I don't know what type of justice we'll get for Renee Nicole. I don't know. I don't have any confidence based on what we've seen. But what I can tell you is that karma's a hell of a thing. You see that police officer, I'm not even going to call him a police officer because he's not a police officer. That agent that shot that lady, there's going to be a time in his life where he's no longer working for ICE. There's going to be a time in his life where he is settled down with his family. And time has passed where sometimes you kind of forget certain things that you've done when you're young. Somebody's going to recognize you, and they're not going to forget. See, I grew up in the hood, and I don't never justify what happens in certain neighborhoods, but there's a certain thing about comeuppance, is what we used to call it. So whatever you do, it has consequence. Whatever negative things that you do to harm people, at some point, the bill comes due. So if you think that you're going to be able to skate away from this shit, you're sadly mistaken. For you to think that you can be able to skate away from this shit, and you have people say, "Oh, well, you fucked around and found out." That's what they said about this girl. But yet, you tell us that Ashley Babbitt is a fucking war hero, is a hero? And when she went to the Capitol and stormed the fucking Capitol, she had a knife and gun? But she's a hero. You see what I'm trying to tell you? Like, if people don't understand what's happening at this point, you are not to be saved. It's over for you. And I'm telling you right now, I've said it multiple times on this show, on my phone, to people. MAGA will never be forgiven. I don't care if you are a MAGA supporter and you go ahead and see the light, and no, there will never be forgiveness for that side. Never. For what damage you've done to this country, and it might be irreparable damage, there will never be grace for y'all. Never. For the Republicans, for the conservatives that went along with this shit, that put this motherfucker here, there will never be any forgiveness for you either. We are in a situation that we've never been in, and it's all thanks to greed, bigotry, racism, nationalism, and these billionaire classes that want to keep people down and poor while they continue to rape and pillage this country for all the money that they have. And you have idiots that have been living in this country in the Midwest or wherever they're at. They've been voting red their whole life and don't realize that these tech billionaire people are coming in and they're robbing you blind. And you're fine with it because you idolize billionaires, because maybe in your crazy, stupid mind, you think you're going to be a billionaire one day. I have news for you. You won't. Because if you're worried about migrants taking your jobs, you can forget about being a billionaire. So you have Zoran Mamdani's, you have, other guys like Plattner in other states. There's an uprising coming. It's starting. And I'm just telling everybody that if you're not paying attention and if you're not on the right side of history, history is going to slap you in the face and it's going to make you humble after a while. All of these people have to answer to somebody at some point. Death is too good for Donald Trump. I tell people all the time, I want a slow cook for him. I want you to be the dementia-riddled old fuck that you don't know up from down, and you keep shitting on yourself. That's what I want for you. For Kristi Noem, I want to make sure that people remember you in this stage. You're calling this lady a national terrorist or whatever it is, because you get no grace to be able to come back down. Stay there. For J.D. Vance, Mascara Boy, go fuck yourself. Like, there's so many people on this list. For MAGA supporters, for the conspiracy theorists, for these young 18-year-olds that idolize Nick Fuentes and all these other guys. Go fuck yourselves. They always said, and I'll end with this, that the revolution won't be televised. You won't see it coming. Nobody's going to come here and sit on a podcast and tell you, this is the date, this is the time, this is the location of when the revolution is coming. But I can promise you, people are a lot more resilient than what you think. And just because you beat them down and you continuously try to think that you've won, history repeats itself. So, continue. But what I want people to do is fight Make sure that you pay attention to what's going on. You protect your community. You protect your fellow neighbors. You protect your friends. You protect your family. You make sure that you don't allow anybody to end up like this poor girl. It's a disgrace. This country has gone to shit. And it's not just because of Donald Trump. It's been going here for a very long time. He just opened the fucking door.